Deneen Manette just tweeted something that's right next to your. I know you probably can't see it on the. Put Sam back up there. I'm going to read it to her and see her reaction. It's from Deneen, who said, "I wouldn't be surprised if mom was being paid for the arrangement. I've seen mothers pimp their daughters numerous times."
She always has a way of making it even worse. But yeah, I mean, I can't imagine even a mother allowing that to happen. But again, you would think of all these horrendous cases that we have covered that we would be hyper-aware, that Shagun and Anahita would be hyper-aware. And listen, I had a number of adult non-relative males that were present in my life that I thought of as and referred to as uncles, but never once did they ever want to be alone with me or take me out alone. My parents were always there when they were there, and that's the way it should be. Why run the risk?
It's strangely always those guys that have the moniker uncle. But Jennifer, you were nodding your head more vigorously than anybody there. Go ahead. The pimp thing sounds okay to you? I can't even get my head around that.
That's exactly what I was going to say. The motivation from mom is right here at question. I've heard it a million times if I've heard it once. And yeah, I do believe that that is highly probable. And to the response of having daughters stay with non-relatives, I don't think that we can say all. I really don't, because I think that that sets our children up to not trust men at all.
Right, not trust anybody.
I think it is a teaching process. Because, I mean, if they go to school and they're a 5-year-old and they might have a kindergarten teacher that's a male, what am I saying if I can't be with her 24/7? And it's not just men. I think that sets up a bad precedent against men,
Jenna, I'll let you respond to that. I also want you to respond to what I was saying about people who've been victims attracting in perpetrators. Go ahead.
Absolutely. Well, my only response is that I agree that you shouldn't leave your male kindergarten teacher alone with your child in bed. In bed.
Right, there we go.
I'm happy to leave my children alone with their male kindergarten teacher during the day, but not in bed. And I think that's the point that was trying to be made earlier. But I will respond to the role of the mother here. You know, when I first read this story, it really made me think, I wonder what type of home this mom came from. Because certainly she had to have come from some home where she had blurred boundaries, and perhaps, and I'm not going to defend her, but perhaps she isn't able to discern whether this is right or wrong. Now, nonetheless, okay, it's not excusable. Her choices are not excusable, but it really does make me believe that maybe she's not able to discern what's right.
Nobody have drugs and alcohol in here? That's you. When I see people really go off the rail like that, yeah, Evie, you're saying yes. And Evie, you've actually dealt with a case like this.
Yeah, I've dealt with cases like this where the similarities where there's been a young boy or young male babysitting a young girl, and the one specific case I'm thinking of was actually much worse. It's a 16-year-old male babysitting a 4-year-old girl, and he was allowed to sleep in the room and actually had full intercourse with this young little girl. And so what I want to say is, you know what, you really don't know people. And to be on the side of safety, like you said earlier, you want to keep that separation. But I do feel that there's something nefarious going on with this household. When I hear all that stuff, I think drugs. I think something's going on. I agree with what Jennifer's saying. It's a quid pro quo. You can have this with my daughter if I get a little bit of that. And I do think that there's something like that was going on.
Sam?
Yeah, and Dr. Drew, why the hell is this mother and this alleged abuser out walking around? I mean, people that have drug charges get locked up quicker than these two. I don't get it.
I don't know how to answer that. Does anybody know how to answer that?
We don't have respect for women. We don't have respect for females in this country. I'm absolutely sorry. We are seen as objective sex objects, and we do not take seriously the offense that happens when we are penetrated, raped, abused, molested. It happens too often.
I would say, Jennifer, there's no doubt in my mind that it has taken a long time for this country to catch up with how common this is and how devastating it is, and how much under the age of 16 this kind of sexual activity can be absolutely shattering. People look at it and go, oh, it was consensual. Are you kidding me? Consensual? It's an 11-year-old. Absolutely. And by the way, even if it were reversed, a 23-year-old or whatever female and a 11 or 12-year-old male, it's equally as, maybe not equally as devastating, but it's also devastating. We have got to get our head around how much this alters people's sense of self, their body boundaries, and their brain development. It's shattering.